Niggas be thinking I be beefing for no reason, but that nigga beefing for no reason. I'm talking about sometimes the sector can be totally dead. Ain't nobody said nothing. And this nigga just nigga go live talking about some Rev G into Afro Svengalis.
That nigga be yelling in the food truck. That nigga be screaming in the food truck. With his kids, yo, he got his babies inside the food truck with him yelling and shit. Like,
Fact.
who do that shit? Look at baby probably playing around with the tools and shit. This nigga yelling.
Anti-Afro Svengalis. I want to make sure you know the clip you just heard is definitely relevant as it relates to this lawsuit. And I'm going to explain why. It explains this lawsuit. Now, this lawsuit, which indeed was filed a year ago. I was like, no, it's not been a year. It can't be a year. Sure enough, September 2021, when we got wind of this lawsuit was headed down the pike. Now, let me explain how this clip is so relevant. And I got to hand it to Gerald Palmer, who pointed this out, who drew this together. We know there are people who come into this arena or the arenas that surround it or may be related to it, having to do with Umar Johnson or people who are considered adversarial to Umar Johnson. You know, I'm talking about me, Gerald Palmer, anti-fraud warriors, or anybody that says, hi, anti-fraud warriors. You know what people do. There are people, some people, who come in and have a goal to try to be seen, to be heard, to be acknowledged, in particular by Umar Johnson. Umar Johnson, look at me. I'm going to get those anti-fraud warriors, making all these bold statements, outrageous lies. Look at me. Here I am. And they end up getting embarrassed, end up getting humiliated, they end up getting played, they end up being exposed for who they are. Someone who promised and couldn't deliver. And now the goal is to wipe out the entire existence of those who are commenting on Umar or in the position of holding Umar Johnson accountable because the person can get what they want. They wanted to take everybody out. That's what you have when somebody files a lawsuit against 16 people. Shut them all down, scare them all away, intimidate them, make them afraid to think they can't say my name. I'm going to take them all out in one fell swoop. Yeah, that's the goal here. People, please. People can be ambitious all day long. Whether they're going to get a court of law to go along with them, that is the comical part. Thinking they have any prayer in being able to accomplish that task. So this lawsuit was filed by a person by the name of CB. And let me say this up front to Tiff P. You made a statement, what was it, last month sometimes? Tiff P said, CB, she's not playing around. Well, let me tell you this, Tiff P. CB isn't playing around when it comes to lying. You got that right. This person is suing like 16 people. I'm going to give you an example. Rather than just tell you outright what I mean, I'm going to illustrate it. Let's say I filed a lawsuit and I accused 100 people and I named every single person, first and last name, and I assigned behavior to every single one of those people. You stole my dog, you stole my car, you called me a bitch, you called me a hoe, you took my man from me, you talked about my kids, you called me ugly, you said I got fired from a job, you called me a white woman, you said I had a behavior assigned to every person. Maybe more than one person had the same behavior. I laid it out and I filed that lawsuit in federal court. Let's say that every single one of those people, all 100 of them, came onto YouTube or Twitter or Facebook and defended themselves and said I was a liar. Is that harassment? That all these people are attacking me? They're attacking me? All these people are attacking me. Look what you've done. And you people are talking about it. Look at all these people harassing me. That's bullshit. This is basically what this person did. This person filed this lawsuit against all of these people and has the nerve to go and complain to the judge that people are calling the lawsuit whatever they want to call it. And the judge spoke to that. Look at this here on the screen. This is the court transcript. If you want to go, Tiff P, I know you're not interested in looking at both sides. I mean, I can't imagine what lawyer doesn't want to look at both sides, but that's okay. You were rocking with these people while they were doing all this bullshit. At any rate, if you look at this particular part of the hearing, the judge is telling this, I don't call him a lawyer, I guess he's a lawyer, trying to convince the judge to do something to the people who are commenting on YouTube that this lawsuit is whatever it is, bullshit, a piece of crap, bogus, whatever characterization people were giving this lawsuit. And I'm among those people. It's bullshit. It's a bunch of lies. And I'm referring to me, I'm referring to Gerald, I'm referring to anti-fraud warriors. I can't speak on how it applies to the other people because I have no idea what went down between this person and the other people that she's suing. The judge is stating it right here, all day, every day. You can read it. People characterize lawsuits, how they feel about lawsuits that are filed. This is free speech. There you go. I don't have to say, oh, this lovely lawsuit. Oh, I'm so happy. Oh, such a sweet person. Oh, thank you for filing this lawsuit. Free speech allows me to get up here and say whatever the hell I want. And this lawsuit is full of bald-faced lies. Whether you want to agree, whether you want to accept it, whether it's good or bad, we cannot escape some element of our upbringing. And let me tell you the element of my upbringing that rings true more than anything else when it comes to this lawsuit. I won't be punished for something I didn't do. It's simply not going to happen. How could it happen? It won't happen. No possible way. That can't be reversed. When I came up with my 7 brothers and sisters, our dad never ran into a room with the belt and started swinging the belt, beating us because someone told him we did something. That never happened. Also, what never happened, he automatically believed what we said if someone accused us. And trust you me, when you have 8 kids and stuff goes down and people see 4 of your kids standing there, because never were we by ourselves. It's natural. At the time, we didn't accept that. We thought people were blaming us for everything. Oh, your kids were there. Oh, but what were they doing? Well, I don't know. So it's always asking, well, what was going on? Well, why were you there and what happened? Those were the inquiries. Really? Okay, I'm going to check this out. I'm going to check. Then, when we weren't doing something, we never got in trouble. What we got in trouble for was being somewhere where we shouldn't have been. Now, what teenager and what adolescent wants to miss the action? But that's a hard lesson to try to drive home to young people who want to see everything. And I remember one kid lit some house on fire in a field, like he made this makeshift house, and he told us about the house, and we all went to look at the house, and then he said, oh, I'm going to see how long it takes to burn it. My brother said, let's get out of here, and we ran. We had nothing to do with him lighting that fire. We took the hell off. We weren't going to get in trouble. We didn't give him the matches. We had no idea he was going to do it. So this applies to this situation. You have a person who filed a lawsuit with a bunch of lies in it, who thinks she's actually going to saddle us, me, Rev G, anti-fraud warriors, with shit we didn't do. That's not going to happen. I have the utmost confidence in my position. How are you going to punish someone for something they didn't do? How are you going to make someone accountable for something they didn't do? And let me tell you, the most offensive part about this lawsuit of everything that is written is this person trying to assign me or associate me in any way with any acts of violence. And I mean whether the acts are direct, indirect, planning, plotting, paying somebody. No way in hell I'm going to let somebody go into a court and tell a judge I had anything to do with anything related to violence. No way in hell I'm going to let that stand. Same thing goes for Gerald. Same thing goes for anti-fraud warriors. Just because somebody's making outrageous claims doesn't mean those claims can in any way be validated, because they cannot. And listen, it's very ironic that this person had been saying all this bizarre, outrageous, more and more cockamamie, wild schemes back in 2020 and 21. And people were sending all this information. We're going to ignore this person. And people kept pushing back, saying, no, we should not be ignoring this person. Okay, let's capture what this person is stating. And one of the things the person stated, and we didn't pay much attention to because it was comical, but it does have some relevance now. See, this is why you should be capturing things. Doesn't mean you have to speak on it then and there, but it's relevant. And it's even more relevant that this doesn't show up in those court documents.
All I said was you had the documents that I sent in on the AFW back in October that they keep lying and saying I never sent in, and you saw the results of what that document did, and we made a settlement on that if you do this, then we won't do that. And you saw the results. Rail saw the paperwork I sent into the AG office on AAS. You did a live. You saw what the paperwork I sent in on AAS, and I said you also benefited from that paperwork I sent in on, not on AAS, but the AFW.
This was a lie. There has been no legal documents served upon me, Gerald, AFW, from Delaware or Pennsylvania. The only thing that we are dealing with is this raggedy ass lawsuit. And you would think if we were sanctioned or threatened by any legal entity, that would have been included in the lawsuit, because I would have buttressed the claim that AFW and me and Gerald are engaged in all these atrocities. Do you see what I'm talking about? This information was brought here to try to convince people that a person had a certain stature and had this power to bring down me and AFW and Gerald. People have to lie in order to get you to believe what they're saying. That's all we have here, people. It never happened. If it occurred, it would be in the lawsuit. Guess what else I can say? There was a false police report filed against Lennon Honor. Lennon Honor did not harass, did not cyberbully Umar Johnson's daughter. He doesn't know who Umar Johnson's daughter is. It's a false report. I can say it's a false report. Lennon Honor was never arrested, never came close to being arrested. Lennon Honor took care of business. I'm not going to get into details about what happened on Lennon Honor's end as far as what he did. It's a false report. And nobody can curtail or chastise me or punish me for saying that's a false police report. But here's a person that filed a lawsuit and thinks she can control what people say as a result. Now, let me give you another example. Cardi B filed a lawsuit against Tasha K. When Cardi B filed the lawsuit, she felt she had all the evidence that she needed to prevail. Whether she was going to prevail when she filed that lawsuit, nobody knew what the jury was going to say, or had a judge heard the lawsuit. No one knew what a judge was going to rule. You don't know. You have no idea what a judge is going to say. Regardless of how I feel, I don't know what the judge is going to say. I'm speaking with my conviction. So what happened? She filed the lawsuit, then went about her business. What I can pretty much guarantee did not happen. Cardi B did not then go and sit on Tasha K's YouTube channel and look for evidence. Why is that? Because Cardi B already had the evidence. Why does she need to go and hang out on Tasha K's page? She had no reason to do that, or her representatives rather. So with this lawsuit, it went in and there was 50 pages. I just went and read the pages that were relevant to me. Okay, I read the pages. So we have all of these amendments that went through. There isn't anything necessarily wrong with filing amendments, but in this situation, things are pretty unique. Now this lawsuit has grown from 50 pages to 105 pages. And let me explain one of the significant reasons why. This person not only added Gerald Palmer, this person has now complaining about things that have happened since the lawsuit was filed and has expanded the time range beyond what she initially stated. All of these atrocities occurred. She initially stated these atrocities occurred between October 2020 and October, I think, 2021 or November, one of the two. She designated a year time span that all these things were done. But then she started adding updated commentary, like whenever we would say something, she would add that on. That means you didn't have the evidence. You know what that means? It means there was no proof to begin with. If you have to sit on somebody's page after you file a lawsuit, that means you didn't have the evidence. Either way it goes, it doesn't make any difference if a person sleeps on the page. My page, Gerald's page, whoever page. It doesn't change the fact that what's leveled in that lawsuit is 100% false. And if there is something that was stated that happens to be true in terms of if we actually did say something that the person claims we said, it's not actionable. And I can stand up here and say that. Nobody can tell me I'm unable to speak. I just never thought it was worth saying anything about. If a person has a disagreement with you, if a person is seeking clarification from you, that's one thing. If a person jumped up on some platform and is telling a bald-faced lie about you, what in the world would I have to say to a person like that? I don't have anything to say to anybody who I know good and damn well is telling a lie. And this is why I never even considered going on most of these, what do you call, platforms. Bald-faced liars and demons spinning bullshit, and they want you to go up on their platform for what? I can't think of anything that's more of a waste of time and energy. Going up on a platform where someone's lying on you. Not going to do it. Listen, people, I'm going to talk to you about a couple of ironies here. One irony, if you've noticed or not, I'm going to point it out. Anyway, she didn't sue Lennon Honor. Lennon Honor is involved because of that false police report that was filed against him. But she didn't have the guts to sue Lennon. I have the same information that Lennon has. But she couldn't muster the guts to sue him. She would rather try to concentrate on landing the big prize for Umar, suing AAS, and I'm going to make you proud, Umar. There's just one problem. There were lies she told about me on YouTube and off. I mean, this person came barreling in here with this just beyond vile and repugnant disposition, acting as if she knew who I was, making up all kinds of shit, and really banked on somebody who needed to really believe these lies. And it never happened. It never came anywhere near having the impact and splash that she thought it would. It had no impact. Nobody she told these lies to in any position of importance related to me or who was close to me ever came anywhere near to believing the bullshit that she was saying. So when that happens to someone who was calculating like this, what they try to do is deny they even told the lie. That's not going to be any more successful than the lies that she told. You have to really think about it, people. What goes into a person, the character of a person who just out of whole cloth will make up such outrageous lies? And they were humdingers, people. They were humdingers. Then you have the sinister act of filing a lawsuit as if she was the one whose reputation and character was attacked. All the while, this was a person who had tried to get me to talk to her. This was a person who was set up on those live streams for 3 and 4 and 5 hours and talked about me. You never saw me once even go on those live streams, tap in, or even leave a message. When did I even post any videos on this person? I posted an actual video after they had that falling out. I really didn't give a damn, to be honest with you. I was just simply pointing out the perils of trusting people who come in strong and hard, making all these promises that no way in hell she was ever going to be able to live up to. And I'm talking about the falling out with TCTV. Who the hell knows what happened? And as far as putting people's life in danger, it doesn't matter whether or not a person is black or white. Telling the world that somebody is a white supremacist or linked up or supported by or backed by white supremacists is putting someone's life in danger. This person never saw me and tells the world that I'm a white woman. Tells a judge I'm a white woman. I reasonably believe, who gives a shit what this person reasonably believes? This person told the world definitively that I'm white and I'm a white supremacist. And that's one big reason why, in addition to many others, nobody believed what the hell she was saying, especially off YouTube. It's incredible. And she wants to put herself in the position as a victim. As I stated before, judges rule on matters of law. Judges don't rule on a person running onto a playground, screaming and crying and throwing herself on the ground and kicking. Because there's just one person on the playground. I don't run onto playgrounds screaming and hollering. So we're going to find out, when we find out, what the judge will decide. But I wanted to make sure I came on here and gave you an update. And there has never been any situation or circumstance involving this person where I have been fearful, I have been worried, oh my goodness gracious. The person has never been worth my time to address. If I want to come on here and talk about this case, I'll do it. This person has no constraints on me. This person cannot put fear in me. This person cannot tell me what to do. This person was never worth my time addressing. The court will make a decision, not this person. But I do have more I'm going to be sharing with you as things update. What I'm not going to do at this point is talk to you about strategy. I'm only talking to you about a very small element of this case. But when the time comes to talk about our plans, for sure, you will be cued in to that. But for now, that will have to be left out. In the meantime, you know the drill. Buyer beware.